Okay, Seahawks this season, they got 13 wins. That's number one. Their point differential, that's number one. Huge wins, number one. And margin of defeat is only -9. That's number one. What the heck? Danny, will the Seahawks prove they're the best team in the league with a win?
I think that graphic actually proves that they already are. Like, just based on the resume, based on what they have accomplished this year, I think it's hard to argue against the team with the most wins that's won by the most points with the most blowouts, and when they lose, they are the closest losses. Like, that seems like a pretty ironclad case for they are the best team in the NFL this year. Now, if we don't trust their quarterback, or you got a specific team that you like more for a specific matchup reason, that's fine. But I think what's actually most interesting about Seattle going into this game is that they have all of those things on their resume, and Sam Darnold hasn't played well for 2 months. He has 9
played great. Yeah.
He has 9 touchdowns and 9 interceptions total in their last 8 games. 9 touchdowns, 9 picks, but they're 7-1 in those games. And I think that just speaks to, like, we do a lot of which quarterback is better, right?
Yeah.
Sure, but
which quarterback do you trust?
Which quarterback do you trust? But the best quarterback doesn't always win. Football's the ultimate team game. They are the best team, and they do not have the best quarterback.
So are they your pick to win the NFC?
I probably will pick the Rams heads up. Yeah, but listen, they've played. Those two teams have played twice. They've been 2 coin flips, and in that spot, they've been very close. But in that spot, I think it's reasonable.
But is that your coin flip
for the
graphic?
future? But like as of now, like I'm picking Seattle in this game. I've got Seattle over San Francisco.
Well, then let me jump in real quick. If Seattle, so I agree with you about resume, but I also agree that all gets thrown out if it's not simply, okay, one team's quarterback's better than the other, but that doesn't make you throw out all the data. But if one team has a quarterback you just objectively do not trust, and you believe, not only do you not trust, but you believe will be his worst in the biggest spots, then I don't care about the data. I'm not going to believe in that team, which is why this weekend's game is so important. I need, if I can see Sam Darnold have a shocking chance at identical redemption to what happened last year in Minnesota, there is real reason to believe, had he played better, Week 18 in Detroit last year in this exact same spot playing for the 1 seed or the 5 seed, he'd still be in Minnesota.
Right.
That they wouldn't have, I know they had already drafted J.J. McCarthy, obviously, but if they were the 1 seed and theoretically, then in a home playoff game had won that get to a conference championship game, I don't know that they move on to J.J. I think they moved on to J.J. because he played so poorly in that game and then so poorly in the playoff game, they were like, let's turn the page. I just need him against what I think is the worst. Bears are right there. One of the 2 bad defenses that's going to be in the NFC playoffs, the Niners and the Bears. I need to see him play. If I see him play well against them and they get the bye, and it's going to be that defense in that stadium with that noise at home the rest of the way, then I'll believe in him. So to me, if they win this game, they are the best team in the league. Now, again, the best team doesn't always win it, and much like Danny said, he'd probably pick the Rams. If this ended up being Seahawks-Bills in the Super Bowl, I'd probably be like, well, the Bills have hit their stride, and they have a quarterback I trust more. I'd probably ride with them. But I do think if they win this game, Brew, you've been very hesitant to say there is a best team. I think you'd have to say it's Seattle.
Well, the question is Sam Darnold. That's the one. I mean, their defense is top 2 in the league in terms of scoring defense. They got a solid running game. They have really a great receiving core with Cooper Kupp as their number 2 guy. And then Rashid Shaheed's great in special teams and is explosive at times. And obviously Jackson Smith and Jigba. So the only question is Darnold. And to your point, he hasn't been good. Now, for what'd you say, 2 months?
He's got 9 touchdowns and 9 picks in the last 8 games.
Yeah, and even the game 2 weeks ago against the Rams, and I came on here and said, he answered some questions for me. He still had 2 interceptions in that game, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Didn't really play well for the first 3 quarters or so plus, 3 quarters plus. So there are real questions about him. Now, if he comes out, and he's facing a defense that Phillip Rivers actually played pretty well against at 44 years old, and Caleb Williams cooked against.
I think alarm bells go off if Darnold struggles against this defense.
Yes, they may lose, but if it may have to lose like a shootout where Brock.
They have to lose the way the Bears lost to the Bears.
Yeah,
Exactly.
But if he struggles and they score 16 or 19 points and lose, then you got real questions about that.
Yeah, that would be a shocking result. I mean, Sam Darnold, we looked it up. He's played 8 teams this year that right now are bottom 10 in pass defense. He's got a passer rating of 114 in those games. He destroys bad defenses. Like, he has put up numbers against bad defenses. This is a bad defense. I expect him to play well.
NFL low 18 sacks for the 49ers. So I feel like he's going to have a clean pocket, be able to sort of dice up. Also, I'm willing to say if Seattle wins this game and Sam Darnold plays well, although I'm a Jalen Hurts guy, my junior varsity guy will be Sam Darnold in the NFC.
We've been trying to get you to be the Sam Darnold guy
but
all
they have
year.
to win for you.
No, hold on.
I
want you to declare it now.
Because you think you're a Purdy guy.
You're the Purdy guy. The Purdy real estate is taken on the show.
Right,
I just want to be the Jalen Hurts guy.
We know you're not a Stafford guy. You don't think he's that good.
Stafford's great. Don't get me wrong. Not the MVP, but a great quarterback. But
if you want to be the Darnold guy, it can't be contingent on them getting the 1 seed.
Okay, I will be the Darnold
You're the
guy.
Darnold
I will
guy.
be the Darnold guy, the Bryce guy, and the Jalen Hurts guy, not in that order.
No problem. You can have all 3 of those.
Excellent.
He doesn't even have to play well in this game.
No, I believe
you are
in
the
Sam
Darnold
Darnold.
guy.
I believe in a balanced team.
He likes 14 wins. He likes 4,000 yards. He likes all that. But to Danny's point, just very quickly, the opposite of this question, what you guys were alluding to, even if they win, but Darnold has a dog of a game, certainly if they lose and Darnold has a dog of a game and they're the 5 seed, no one's going to believe in them. But even if they win and he looks like seeing Ghost Darnold for what feels like the 5th consecutive high leverage game, the very end of the Rams game notwithstanding, they become an impossible team to believe in, and he becomes the most frustrating type of quarterback to have quarterback your team, which is the false hope throughout the regular season and going to get the rug pulled out under you guy. So for his reputation, this is as big of a spot as there can be in a regular season.
Don't talk trash.
He'd be a
about
poor
my
man's
guy.
Jared
Yeah,
Goff.
your guy.
Is that?
For the Rams or the Lions?
Goff, I don't think we look at Goff as big games he can't come.
That's what I'm saying. Poor man.
Oh, worse version.
Puts up
yeah.
huge numbers, but
There's a different quarterback that I was
can't win it
of.
with him.
Yeah, there's a different quarterback. They'd be a very poor man's version of. Puts up huge numbers. Is in the MVP conversation. Can't trust in a big spot. Someone comes to mind, but I can't.
More than
really
the
don't know who you're talking
conversation.
Puts up huge numbers.
Puts up huge numbers. You don't in the regular season. You don't
He's
trust him in the playoffs.
thinking Lamar.
Oh my goodness
I didn't even say
gracious.
that. I would.
Well, I just
That's what we know.
No, it's like
Lamar's not in MVP conversations. He wins them.
Yeah,
That's the difference.
That's the difference.
He ends the conversation.
Bears in Detroit, gunning for the 2 seed. Ben Johnson, unlike Danny, not happy with last week's performance against San Francisco. What would a Bears win prove against Ben Johnson's old squad?
Nothing. And I assume for all 3 of you guys, nothing also. Right? I mean, we've been asking this question.
I was planning on ruining your day by saying nothing.
No.
Really?
I thought it would really bring you down a little
No,
bit. But
thank you for
I agree.
your goal on a Friday is to bring me down. No, we have been asking this question about the Bears since October. What does this win prove? Like, what does it prove? This was after they beat a team that was in the NFC Championship game last year against Washington, and they beat Jaden Daniels.
Would it be more of an indictment on?
What did it? Of their 3rd straight win after the Vikings, what did they prove? That's just a 5-game winning streak. What about on Black Friday when they beat the Eagles, when they beat the Super Bowl champs?
We weren't here for that.
Those are actually.
We weren't even on that.
I mean,
was just you put our own
Did you make these up, or those actually
those are all
were
questions on this show after Bears win. October, November, early December, late December.
Wow.
It's now January.
What does it prove? Nothing. Oh, so why would week
That we
18
need more variety in the questions.
More of a show
week
indictment.
18 against the Lions team that has nothing to play for? You
Right,
either
I agree.
believe or you don't believe? Like, I believe that there's a huge group of teams this year, larger than normal at this point of the year, that can win the Super Bowl because it's wide open, and the Bears are in that grouping of teams. Some people don't.
So listen, I understand that, but this is, I guess I'm one of a last of a dying breed of people that think seeding matters in the NFL playoffs. We got teams.
That's why the Bears are playing their guys.
No. From analysis perspective, and I don't think the 2 seed's the same as the 3 seed. I don't. You know why? Because if you're the 2 seed, your round 2 game against the 3 seed, assuming both teams win, is in your building. I do think stuff like that matters. And I'm not talking about you here. I'm talking about in general. It seems like there's been a lot of discussion about these meaningless Week 18 games because, what's the difference for the Texans, whether they're the 5 seed or the 6 seed? Well, I don't know. Going to an AFC North team versus going maybe to New England or to Jacksonville, to me, feels different. So I think the Bears have a lot to play for here. And so it is kind of more negative. A loss would be alarming to me. While a win maybe wouldn't, cement them anywhere, but I don't look at the Lions as the type of team that's going to roll over. I don't look at the Lions as the type of team that's going to say, we're out of the playoffs, we don't care. I don't think that's Dan Campbell's MO.
Yeah, against their old offensive coordinator.
So you agree with me? You're saying.
I think it's embarrassing if the Lions lose.
No, the Lions are on the record. They're playing their guys, all the things.
I think it's similar to, and obviously they didn't lose their quarterback, but like the Chiefs, against the Titans. I'm sure the Chiefs didn't go out there thinking season's over, doesn't matter, but just naturally it was a letdown that was unavoidable. Detroit, Dan Campbell's going to do everything he can to get them up. I'm sure mentally they're going to be like, let's go out there with a bang. But this isn't like a couple of years ago when they beat Green Bay over the last week because they could ruin the season for a division rival. They can't do that. Chicago's still in the playoffs, no matter what. Yeah. And I just think it's going to be – this is a team that was thinking Super Bowl. So I think they're going to have a letdown emotionally, and I don't know what type of Detroit team we're going to see. I'm not expecting a great one.
Even against Ben Johnson, where it's like, man, we were thinking Super Bowl last year. This guy left.
I think a little bit emotionally, subconsciously.
But there's 2 other things here quickly. One is that your little doth protest too much on us not believing in the Bears when 8 minutes ago, Kevin Wildes gave you a off the backboard alley-oop, Wembanyama style, as far as he said, so if Seattle, you're going to pick them to win the NFC, and you hesitated, and I'm like, okay, he's hesitating because he wants to ride with his Bears. And he's like, I'd probably pick the Rams.
He didn't even
think about the Bears.
They weren't even in consideration.
What?
That you don't believe.
The Bears' defense is not good.
Well, that's the other piece of it is that we now have playoff look-ahead lines, and this shocked me because the Bears. So the Bears could play in round 1, theoretically. Niners, Rams, Packers. Those are the 3 teams they could play in round 1. They are, according to our friends at DraftKings, underdogs against all 3. Yeah. They are bigger underdogs. They are 1.5 underdogs against the Packers, 1.5 underdogs against the Niners, and 4.5 point underdogs against the Rams. Packers being favored in your stadium in a playoff game would be that's so Vegas doesn't believe in the team.
I think they should be underdogs in all those games.
Wow.
Really?
Again, that could change depending on how this weekend goes.
Yeah, and I would have included when you were talking about bad NFC defenses. I think the Packers defense right now.
Oh, that's interesting. I wasn't. Yeah, that's a fair
Packers
point.
defense is not good. They're not playing well. I would like the Bears in that spot.
How many points did y'all score against them a couple weeks ago?
Well, which one?
16?
Yeah, 22-16 was that one game.
I mean, come on.
Time now for a red hot segment. Granted, it didn't win last week, but this segment is red hot. It's time for Parkins picks.
Yeah.
Overall. Yeah.
I am seeing the NFL very clearly. This is the official pick segment. I plug into the matrix. I see the league clearly. I'm not going to let 3-0 change me. I'm not scared of picking big games, taking the points with Detroit. Play in the wood with the Chicago Bears. Easy, easier, and easiest. I know that I'm right.
Let's see how they did last week.
Let's check it out, Nick. Yikes.
Ouch.
Wow.
Wasn't particularly close either. Not great, but here's the thing. Nick and I agreed that I would stop wearing this ridiculous outfit if I ever fell below 500, hasn't happened, or if he ever passed me in the standings, hasn't happened.
Game and a half back.
So I'm not here to talk about 0-3. I'm here to talk about 27-24, another winning season. And
not a winning season yet.
Not a winning season yet.
You got 27 and
these,
27 is on the board, buddy.
Listen, after these picks,
Okay.
after these picks,
Let's
we'll
see what
lock
you got.
in a winning season. People say it's hard to gamble in Week 18. Not if you lay 4.5 with Tanner McKee. What? How are you laying
don't
4.5
like this.
with Tanner McKee? It's very simple. Washington, they're playing backups too, but not Marcus Mariota. They're playing 39-year-old Josh Johnson. So what do we know about Tanner McKee? Well, we know that Tanner McKee has started one game in his NFL career. It's pretty good. Week 18 last year against the Giants, had an excellent game. People in Philly think he could be a starter in this league. And while Philly is taking this opportunity to rest some of their key players, they too are playing for something because, as Nick mentioned, seeding matters. So if Philly wins and the Bears lose to Detroit, the Eagles get the 2 seed. Now, they're prioritizing rest for their key guys, but it's not like they're not going to game plan. They are going to try to win the game. They're going to try to showcase Tanner McKee, and Washington is playing someone Nick's age. So I like the Eagles to win the game. Next up, you can't count on a lot of things in the NFL, but you can count on the Dallas Cowboys beating the New York Giants. Dallas wants to avoid a losing season. This game would get them to dead even. The Giants obviously have no motivation. They're looking for draft picks. Jackson Dart's still playing hard. But what is one of the most reliable things in the NFL? Dak Prescott beating the New York Giants. He throttles them. He's one of the best win percentages against a single opponent of any quarterback in NFL history. Since 2017, hasn't lost, and he bludgeons them. 8 of those 14 wins by 15 or more. Dak owns the Giants. I'll happily lay only 3.5 with that great Dallas offense that is still playing for something. And last but not least, I believe in it. I believe in Bruce Ravens. Lamar's back. It could all come down to, if Nick has a great start, which he won't, it could come down to Sunday Night Football because he's on Pittsburgh's side. I'll lay the 3.5. We watched that Steelers game together. You're right. It wasn't a pleasant experience, not because of the Blue Moons, but because of how much money you were losing on it, but also because of Pittsburgh's offense without DK Metcalf.
Yes.
Who is Aaron Rodgers going to throw the ball to? Steelers wide receivers this season. DK Metcalf on one side of the graphic. Everything else on the other side of the graphic. The left side of the graphic is not there. Washington, the tight end, also not there. How is he going to move the ball against Baltimore when he has no one to throw to? 8 catches for 60 yards on 21 targets to receivers last week. He won't move the ball. Baltimore wins this game and the AFC North easy. Easier, easiest, the most easiest.
Can you catch Parkins?
I'm a game and a half back. So yes, if I go 3-0 and Danny goes 1-2, I win. If I go 2-1 and Danny goes 0-3, I win. And again, this keeps going during the playoffs, but this is for the regular season.
Regular season title matters.
Yeah, and Ravens Steelers were on the opposite side. So if in the early slate, if Danny goes if Danny goes 1-1 and I go 2-0 in the early slate, or if Danny goes 0-2 and I go 1-1, it comes down to Ravens Steelers.
I'm buying what you're selling, Danny.
You're buying what I'm selling?
Absolutely.
Wow. Just laying more than a field goal in 3 spots, 2 teams with literally nothing to play for. What could go wrong? This guy refuses to ever take underdogs, and he's had back-to-back squarest picks imaginable. I can't believe he's had 2 winning seasons in a row. He doesn't deserve it.
I am beating you
I know.
in the picks
It's
again.
unjust. It's unjust, but it's what's happened.
And it's 2 years in a row on TV. We can go back years in our text thread in my radio days. I've been throttling this guy.
Give me a...
Gentlemen, it's time for a game of Who You Got. The rules are self-explanatory. 3 matchups with a lot on the line this weekend. Let's get into it. What do we got first?
Panthers at Bucks. Who you got?
I got the Panthers. Not in an upset. Yeah, listen, I know that sounds insane because of the reputation of the 2 quarterbacks and the 2 franchises, but have we been paying attention to the Bucks? They are 0-8 against the spread in their last 8, and I know we're just picking the winner. They're 1-7 straight up. They have 1 win in the last 2 months. Baker Mayfield is playing terrible. I'm not saying Bryce Young is playing great, but 2 weeks ago, the Panthers beat the Bucks. The Panthers last week were tied in the second half with Seattle, who's playing for the 1 seed. Carolina's playing better football than Tampa Bay right now, who's been playing bad since basically November 1st. I will take Carolina, Greg.
I'm going with the Bucs. Look, in that game a couple weeks ago, the Bucs dominated the time of possession. They ran the ball well. They'll need to run the ball, lean into your physicality up front. Tristan Wirfs looks like he's going to be back out there.
That matters.
That definitely matters in your run game. You got to feed Rashad White and Bucky Irvin. Let those guys get after it. And then with Tristan Wirfs obviously being there to kind of fortify what you are up front, hopefully you can get something in the passing game with Baker in the right direction, not turning the ball over and not kind of spiraling the way he's been the last few weeks. I know he's playing through injury, but I think he'll have enough to get it done.
Yeah, I got the Bucs, and I think we're all saying the same thing. The issue with Baker right now, I think he's not talking about the injuries. I think he's dealing with a shoulder. His knee is probably limited his scrambling ability. But all his weapons are a go. Mike Evans is a Panthers killer. He usually has big games against the Panthers. This defense is going to be key. Can this Buccaneers defense stand up, especially in crucial situations, and really get him off the field on third down? I expect Baker to raise his level of play. If he takes care of the football, and to Greg's point, they run the ball, they're going to be fine. I got the Bucs.
From Saturday afternoon to Saturday night, what's next?
Seahawks at 49ers. Who you got?
I got Seattle. Seattle, to me, they are the more complete football team. San Francisco's offense is rolling. If the question was which quarterback do I trust more to have a great statistical game, it would be Brock Purdy. But Seattle has the most wins in football, the best margin of victory in football, the most blowout wins in football, and when they lose by the slightest margin of any team in football. Like, they haven't been blown out in any game this year. They're in every game. I expect them to be in this one. They are an excellently coached team. Obviously, San Francisco is as well. Yep. But Darnold, while he has not been playing well for a couple of months now, I think he carves up San Francisco's defense. So personally, I like Seattle.
Yeah, I got the San Francisco 49ers, man, and I'm going with CMC. The fact that we now think of MVP as a quarterback award is nonsense. This man carried his team this season, and I think because of the creative scheme of Mike Shanahan and how he utilizes CMC, of having him in that running back position, moving him out to slot, being a mismatch nightmare for linebackers and safeties. And you talk about right now, one of the things we witnessed against the Chicago Bears is the Niners played horrible on defense. They won a shootout, and Brock Purdy was MVP-like. The defense was garbage, but now they have an opportunity to fight for the 1 seed. Like, everything that you can say about them, they've been able to overcome. So I have the Niners. I see them beating the Seahawks. And listen, Brock Purdy in the playoffs is dangerous.
Well, I'm with Danny. I got the Seahawks. When you look at this team, like Danny mentioned, they are complete. But when you look across the field and you look at what has always been the Achilles heel of Sam Darnold in these moments, pass rush, pressure, all the things that the San Francisco 49ers will not be able to do. Dead last in sacks. So if you are Seattle and you are Sam Darnold, you're feeling really good about going up against this opponent. You played them in week 1, they look completely different. Nick Bosa was on the field, Fred Warner. Nick Bosa was the one who got the sacks for him, got the TFLs, all the things. Well, he's not on the field this week, and you just have to feel good if you're Seattle going into this situation, knowing your quarterback has struggled in these pressure moments because of pressure, and this is something that the San Francisco 49ers just simply don't do.
9 touchdowns and 9 picks for Darnold in his last 8 games, and they're still 7-1 in those 8 games. Same exact situation that Darnold had last year. You win, you win, you're the 1 seed. Yeah. You lose, you're the 5 seed. Let's see if he plays better than he did last year, Week 18, against the Lions. Last one, win in your in scenario. What do we got?
Ravens at Steelers. Who you got?
So I have the Baltimore Ravens, and they were a part of Parkins' picks, even though these games are always close, and it's a great old school rivalry. Willie knows it better than anyone. And it has something to do with Lamar Jackson being a full participant, and has something to do with Derrick Henry in Baltimore, but it really is about Pittsburgh. We watched Pittsburgh last week against Cleveland without DK Metcalf, and they could not move the football. It was ugly, and they scored 6 points. If we could show Aaron Rodgers throwing to DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers throwing to all the other receivers. Like, DK Metcalf is on the left, and everyone else is on the right, and that thing at the bottom, 8 catches for 60 yards on 21 targets last week. I just don't know how Pittsburgh moves the ball in this game, Willie. I got Baltimore.
Well, there's no way I can pick Baltimore. I mean, it'd be blasphemy on my
Yeah,
part,
you
right?
can't do
I'll be
it.
the ultimate Judas, so I'm going to pick the Pittsburgh Steelers. But nevertheless, I agree with you, Danny. One of the issues with the Steelers right now is they don't convert very well on third down. I have a graphic. This is what they look like during the month of December, and it's not good. It's actually damn bad. Look at against the Ravens, they were 6-14. As of last week, against the Browns, they were 3-15 on third down. Can't happen. And now you talk about no DK, no Mount Washington, so now you're looking at the playbook shrinking. But this is what the Pittsburgh Steelers have to do. They have to live in third and short. If they're able to win on early downs and not get into third and medium and third and long, they got a good shot. And also defensively, TJ Watt is back. We need some takeaways. They lead the division in takeaways. Our defense has to come down and put that tat-out on Lamar Jackson. If we're able to do that, boy, we're waving towels. We're waving towels on Sunday, DP.
I was very confused. It was a unique moment in television history. Like, all right, you're making a pick as a homer. Cool, we've seen that before. But then you have a graphic arguing against your point.
Yep.
But then you came around, and you were like, TJ Watt, you started.
See how I swerved?
Yeah, you did. You confused me. It was a little zigged. I expected you to zag. It was very confusing. All right, what do you got, Greg?
I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens.
There we go.
Look, if you are on that side and you are playing defense against this offense that you just watched against the Browns with no DK Metcalf, now you understand they don't have Darnell Washington, may have Calvin Austin, who can impact the game. You just don't believe that this team can produce enough big plays. So you crowd the line of scrimmage, you hover, you make Aaron Rodgers do something that he typically is going to do anyway, get the ball out of his hands. He doesn't have the playmakers to generate those big plays like DK typically is able to do. The Ravens.
Ugh.
The Ravens get it done.
I mean, not much on the line. The AFC North, a trip to the playoffs.
Yeah, not much.
Questions about John Harbaugh's future. Questions about Mike Tomlin's future. Questions about Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson.
I just want to did I mention Lamar Jackson only has one win in Pittsburgh and he's 3-5 to start against the Steelers?
He does not play well against the Steelers.
I know it's a little. I just want to throw that back out.
Has not played well against the Chiefs.
Where's my
not played well
damn
in the
yellow?
playoffs.
Where's my terrible towel?
Yeah, where is your
I'm
towel?
gonna tell you what. That's why if you're Lamar Jackson and you watch what happened on the sideline last week, turn around hand to that guy.
Oh, we'll be
22
for that.
Yeah. Just give it to 22.
Yeah.
You called for. You thought Tyler Huntley should play.
I did.
Now you got Lamar Jackson.
Now I want
play.
Lamar Jackson.
You're a little scared?
Nah, I'm not scared. Willie don't blink for nobody.
We know why he wanted Huntley to play.
Listen, I don't tie my shoes for a reason. We don't run. So what's up?
I like that.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.